Hi, I'm Timothy Mitchell with Mimaki USA. I am here in Los Angeles, and I'm here in Los Angeles because my friend Jon Gintzler of LA Print Labs is also here in Los Angeles, and you are an expert on a new product that Mimaki developed in conjunction with Coldenhove and with Klieverik and Monti Antonio, which is TRAPIS.
Yes.
And you have a TRAPIS system.
Yes.
And you have been testing all kinds of fabrics.
All kinds.
So for those of you who do not know, and you should know, it's a shame that people don't know more about it. TRAPIS means Transfer Pigment System. What we've done is traditionally, if you wanted to print with pigment inks on natural fibers, you had to direct print. Okay, so you would print direct onto the fabric. The fabric had to be treated or coated, and you had a loose selection of fabrics. You had to be careful because you're printing directly to the fabric. You got to raise the print head and a lot of other variables. What Coldenhove did is said, hey, we have this really cool new paper. They're a pioneer in some of the best paper in the world for transfer printing, for sublimation. We have this cool new paper in which the, how did you put it, the coating that normally goes on the fabric.
And the pre-treatment is now in the paper.
In the paper.
Yes.
So what you do is you just take a standard printer, like in this case, the Mimaki TS330, just like dye sublimation. You can get a dye sub configuration. We have an extended gamut with pigment inks.
Yes.
Slight modification of the platen, very minimal, you wouldn't even notice it. And then you print direct.
Yes.
To the paper.
To the paper.
Always the paper.
Yes.
Same paper.
Same paper.
Doesn't change.
Doesn't
it's one way.
Doesn't change fabric
one
to
profile,
fabric.
one paper.
Yes.
Now you're running ErgoSoft.
Yes.
I think it comes with raster link, but there's a text link option, and you can run ErgoSoft.
Yes.
So ErgoSoft is widely used in the fabric industry. You're printing direct, just like this, onto this paper.
Yes.
And then it goes to the take-up reel, or not, because you can just print it right from the pinch rollers in a short run, right?
Yes.
Like just little bits of it, like one sample.
For sampling, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, then when this is done, you take it over to the Klieverik or the Monti Antonio,
Right.
and they are special made to have extra pressure because you're taking this ink and you're transferring it into, how many fabrics have you tested?
More than 20 different
More than 20.
types, I think.
Okay, of the 20, and all different things.
Yes.
Rayon, bamboo,
rayon, cotton,
linen,
nylon, silk, and blends.
And blends.
Also.
Okay. Now this is just all kinds of stuff people brought you, or you just like random.
And stuff that I had to test on. And another thing with this, since it works on every fabric, if it's a blend, it's going to work on both fabrics in the blend.
Ah, yeah.
So like previously, if you were doing, you could do dye sublimation on a polyester cotton, but it's just not going to go on.
It's only going to connect to the polyester, and the cotton goes,
Right.
I don't touch that.
Right. So on this, you get on a blend, you get full color on both of it.
Color quality is outstanding.
It's great.
You have super ease of use.
Yeah.
It's faster than direct print
Yes.
by quite a factor in some cases, depending on what your direct print is.
Yes. And also then considering the extra time of pre-treatment and post-treatment with classic direct printing, this is faster.
Yeah.
And
easy to use. Just put the roll on the back.
Yeah.
Some direct print, as I know, you got to use a sticky belt.
Right.
That drives up the cost.
Yeah.
Sticky belts, maintenance. Ooh,
the
don't get
footprint.
started on that. So you're just printing just like dye sublimation, except it's pigment on transfer paper.
Correct.
And then that goes to a specialty transfer press. The specialty transfer press, as I understand it, can also do regular dye sublimation.
Yeah, to transfer the treatment and the pigment ink, it needs a little bit of extra pressure.
Okay.
So that's the difference with the press made for TRAPIS, but it is a sublimate. It is a heat press.
Yeah.
It's a regular calendar press. So anything you can do with a regular press, you can still do with it. It doesn't stop you from using it for sublimation, for laminating, for
all
anything,
all the
normal things you would use it for.
Yeah, which is what we do at the Atlanta facility.
Yeah.
Is we have one calendar press. It's a Klieverik, and it does the TRAPIS and all our other dye sub stuff.
Yeah.
So it's perfect.
Yeah.
Now you're done with a dye sub, you're done. That's it.
Yeah.
You can make it into a chair. You can make it into drapes. You can make it into a tie, because you can do all of these interesting materials as opposed to most systems that are direct print, which are kind of myopic.
Yeah,
Like, we do nylon and lots of it.
Right.
And
There's one. You would have to have one system for nylon, one for cotton, and one for rayon, bamboo, cellulose stuff.
So now you have a lot of redundancy on different systems and different materials. You're much more limited on your materials.
Right.
So you're telling me also when you do this, your turnaround time is like rapido.
Yeah, I mean you can do a sample almost immediately, and then you can go right into production.
Right.
You don't have to pre-treat the sample to get a sample for approval and do all the post treatment. So immediately when the sample is approved, you can go right into production. You can take your customer's roll and put it right on the machine. It doesn't, like a lot of direct print, you really need, the fabric needs to be exactly on a roll perfectly, and the selvage needs to be perfect. Right. It's much less of a problem here.
Yeah, well, what we did is we did what every sensible person does is we outsourced that to the calendar press.
Right. Yeah.
The calendar press is designed to handle oddball fabrics of all type and then get it nice and even so that it goes, and the paper marries it, not in the printer.
Right.
The printer isn't designed to do that.
Yes.
So we take advantage of the superiority of the calendar press being better at handling the fabrics. And then you can just go to the fabric district and pick out fabrics.
Yeah.
And that's what your customers do, don't
a lot
they?
of them, or they,
Hey, I like this. I'm going to make that into a dress.
Yeah.
Or I like this. I'm going to make it into a chair.
Right.
And they do.
Yeah.
And then you turn it around. Doesn't have to go, a large order doesn't have to be placed overseas.
Right.
You don't have to wait 3 months.
Yeah.
You don't have any of the questionable, environmental, because the environmental on this is really it's just a handful of steps here. And I've seen the transfer paper. There's virtually no ink left on this.
Yeah, it's all going onto the fabric. So there's no wasted ink. There's no ink in a waste tank somewhere that you have to deal with. You don't waste extra fabric trying to keep it under tension or get it on the sticky belt or at the end to keep it under tension.
You can run unattended.
Yeah.
It's just paper.
Yeah.
I don't run fabric unattended.
No.
I run fabric with one eye and one ear, like looking at that printer at all times. Yeah. Like what can go wrong? Because you got all this salvage edge, you got all this, it's never on the roll quite right. It's rarely designed to be printable in the sense that it has to go through a printer.
Right.
So in this case, we just move that to the calendar press, short runs, environmentally friendly, cool selection of materials.
Yeah.
A lot of people want to do natural fibers, looks nicer,
yeah,
more sophisticated, better hand. You can just switch to all that and still have really beautiful looking quality.
Yes. Yeah.
Sounds like you have a very innovative system.
Yes.
I mean, it sounds like you kind of meet. I'm going through all the little check marks on my mind and going, hey, designers, are you paying attention? You want to make like totally one-off stuff and just do something custom and not break the bank or have to wait for these huge orders or call up somebody in Asia and they go, yeah, but you have to order like 100,000 yards for us to do that.
Yeah, and not a huge monetary barrier to entry, especially compared to a single direct printer or some other big systems. It's much easier.
Right. Some of the direct printer systems that I'm aware of that you can print a variety of fabrics are very expensive.
Yeah, 10 or 15 times
what
more.
This costs.
Yes.
And
then the whole system.
The whole system, right? Because the cost is the printer as well as the calendar,
press,
the transfer press.
Yeah.
And that transfer press has double duty. You can use it as a transfer press for other things.
Yes.
So your dye sublimation workflow also complements it. All right. John, I want to thank you. I think you're going to... Designers, again, are you listening? This is an opportunity to take your creative ideas, choose your fabrics, have a very high probability that it will be compatible and it will look beautiful. Reach out to John. Let him know that you're interested in testing and evaluating this, and then you can build your own prototypes, your own custom dresses, your own custom clothing, apparel. It meets apparel standards, so all of the requirements for that. Washability, excellent. I mean, it's just like direct printing, only it looks nicer and you have far many choices, and it's much easier to do.
Yes.
Thank you very much
You're
for being an
welcome.
early adopter.
Thank you.
I think this is going to be a huge hit. Los Angeles Print Lab, Jon Gintzler, my friends, thank you very much. And remember, TRAPIS, that's the future.